Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you in another video. All right, so I have become aware. I just read right now that Woj put a bomb out there that said that the Los Angeles Lakers are not willing to extend a long-term offer to Kyrie Irving. That's not unexpected. Kyrie Irving put himself in a very um, disadvantaged position once he took the stance that he took. Uh, so that's just how business goes until things change. And so, unless someone wants to stand up and be a trailblazer, for which they would have to stand up and then say, hey, he's being mischaracterized as something he's not, by way of this circumstance for which it's got so much hypocrisy in it and all that. And I don't think Jeannie wants to take that stance with her business. And maybe she doesn't have the understanding that this is something she should do socially. I don't think a lot of people understand that this is yet another Kaepernick situation. And if they do, they don't want to be the ones to say, hey, yo, y'all Kaepernick in this dude. So that's what's happening, you guys. I think a lot of people still don't yet understand what's happening. But Kyrie Irving is being buck broken, is what we would call that. Simply put, they're trying to break him as a black person who has an opinion that they don't agree with. He offended the Magic people. We know who they are at this point. We know we dare not. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those situations where you get more punishment for that than anything else. So Kyrie Irving crossed that line just like Kanye West has, and now we face the consequences as a fan base because we don't get to make the trade that ultimately brings us the player that we were hoping to get. And the Nets fan base gets to be punished because now they got him suspended for 5 games plus until he effectively breaks. And from there, gives them the apology wording that will be sufficient for their grace. So that's the world we live in today until further notice, I guess. So that's what we deal with. Jeannie and everybody else yields to that truth. It's just a sad world we're in, man. I'm listening to people with backbones about a lot of different circumstances. They're not willing to cross this line as it pertains to those people because they know that their businesses and everything they got going on aligns with making sure that they're at peace and they're going to stand for what they stand for and they're not going to let nobody disrespect it. And this is the way they keep that respect intact. They will initiate unfair and unbalanced tactics to preserve their respect. Because it's deeper than just patronizing you when it's time to, lie to y'all about what my respect means. That's not real respect. This is the real respect because when you mess with them, now it's like, okay, measures are being taken. We're not patronizing. We're not putting Jews Lives Matter on the floor. None of that. Measures are being taken to assure that you are enlightened and understand what it is that they respect so that you never cross the line, even if they've crossed the line or if they've done anything wrong or whatever, because they're above reproach. They ain't never done nothing wrong, so nobody's ever going to hold them accountable. They're perfect, which is why they have the right to punish you in this way for ever crossing the line with them. See, the rest of us are imperfect beings. We've allowed ourselves to be whatever, however. Yo, truth. You ain't that, so therefore, you're not as important. Never forget it. I know I won't. But Black Lives Matter. Sometimes. To some people. No, that's an offensive phrase. It's all lives matter. Because we all matter. But we know that. Black Lives Matter meant all lives matter, but it didn't mean all lives matter. White Lives Matter doesn't mean white lives matter. It means the opposite of Black Lives Matter. And all lives matter means the opposite of Black Lives Matter too. But I'm confused. I'm guessing you are too. And I think that's what it's meant for, because it ain't real respect. It's bull crap. This is real respect. This is real respect. When you are given a label for your own offense, anti-Semitic, you have crossed the line. You could take $50 million from poor black people in the poorest part of the land of this country and still have your number retired in the building that you played football in, Brett Favre. And we won't hear half of this. You can punch a black man in the face on camera. Ain't none of this. I'm tired of black people being bullied. And I'm unhappy with the people who are supposed to be understanding that the black heart is a good one for the most part, acting like they don't understand that on this day because of this offense. It's hurtful. It's wrong. It's ugly. And I don't blame everyone for not wanting to step from behind the curtain, because like I always say, it ain't time for you to make certain stances just because the world says it's time. Maybe it's not in your best interest and you have to make things right before you're ready to take a stance. So because I understand the clock like that, I'm not as angry with everybody, especially the non-black people who don't really know what the hell's going on. You're not supposed to know what's going on yet. I would just tell all of you, just prepare for an enlightenment as it pertains to the understanding of what the black position is on this. An enlightenment that's to come, that you will have to prepare for and navigate around, is what I would tell Jeannie. And I don't know how we go forward properly with this because of who is all involved and what this looks like to all of the people who are watching this through the lens that I'm watching it through. But I always try to keep my understanding that if I were in control of keeping other people's jobs intact with my opinion, that would affect how I would move. But it's like I'm telling you guys, I think things are going to change anyway. Those who have been in charge and have been controlled, they need to understand that there's an adjustment period ahead. It's an adjustment period ahead, man. I'm just going to be honest with you. This whole Hebrews to Negroes thing has awakened a certain spirit in the black man that makes us want to continue to ask questions and confront this. And this action is only making it more so a confidence within us. We're going to be asking more questions. We're going to be more anxious as it pertains to this type of behavior pointed at our people, regardless of what our opinions are. That's the point. Regardless of what our opinions are, we could be saying the worst or the best, but at the end of the day, it's getting to a point where we know that we're not going to be properly defined for our intentions regardless. And that's the point. You did it to Kaepernick, and now you're doing it to Kai. He's telling you in peace, I don't want to be bothering your point, and you're saying, you got it. Don't you see you're the bad guys? Can you not freaking see that? Scolding the man for not saying sorry a certain way. Why must he be broken for your approval? Who's breaking you? And until somebody can tell me what the hell all that's about, who's holding the guys accountable for holding the guy accountable? Who is looking at Jeff Bezos and saying Amazon sells this thing? Who's doing all of this? I don't think nobody, it seems. Not in these places where we need to hear people speaking to people. You understand what I'm saying? People with loud voices that speak to millions. They're not using their voice for that. They're using their voice to reinforce the same nonsense that mischaracterizes Kyrie Irving's position, intentions, and otherwise what it is that he actually did. What he actually did. Because they have other gripes with this man for losses that they took, with other stances that he took in the past that they didn't like. They always try to break our black men when they take a position they don't like. Always want to break them. So they'll banish their own, cancel them. You never hear from the white guy again. He said the N-word, take everything from him. Their money goes in their pocket and they send him off to wherever he goes. But us, now you got to sit there and keep us posted for everybody to see the flogging that happens to a black dude. Because if you break the black spirit, you tame the black people. But let me tell you something. That was never the case. Not actually. Not really. See, that's the people who are confused. So you had to confuse them first in order to get them to act like that. That's the part they left out. You had to shake us up before, you had to traumatize them before that was actually the case. Our generation ain't traumatized like that. We were born somewhat free, as you can see. Somewhat. It's sad because it's like anti-Semitism. It's like, that's a word. That sounds like nigger to me now. Do you understand it? That sounds like nigger to me now. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I ain't talking about the offense that it points at their people. I'm talking about the offense that it points at mine. It sounds like nigger to me now. I'm offended by that word because of how it's pointed at me. Forget how it's pointed at anybody else. I don't like that word for what it's doing to our people now. Funny how that works, right? Now, I'm offended that you calling me that. You're very offended. Look how that works. What am I supposed to do? Just watch the Lakers. Let's go, Lakers! A black person with an opinion, who, if I were in positions, they would take everything from me for this opinion. Does it make me any less capable of doing my job? I can talk to Lakers tonight and probably will. Did anybody's arm fall off from the conversation that I had? Somebody's money get snatched from them? Something happened to them? Granted, not to minimize what words can do, because they can definitely ignite people to do the wrong things, but like, for the punishment, does it fit the crime? Does it fit the label? Hell no, it don't. It's something people use to keep breaking bucks, just like they've been trying to break us for a long time. So you let us know what type of psychology you used on us. So now when we see it, we recognize it. All the truths you've hidden, and you don't think we were gonna look for other truths you've hidden? Think. You've been lying for years. Why wouldn't we think it's one more lie? Come on, man. Black people are waking up in a different way. We're not ashamed of who we are. We're not confused about who we are. You're not going to tell us we're crazy. You're not going to tell us we're bad people. We know who we are. We just want to know the history. See, who we are isn't the history. That's who we were. That'll help us understand how to be best selves today. Who we are is who we define right now. I'm BL44. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. But as it pertains to my roots, my truths, why I have certain traits, why my spirit feels a certain way, why I pray certain ways, come to certain conclusions, why I see people who are not spiritually inclined and they seem to run into walls that I don't run into in certain situations. Why do I have certain secrets in my head that I understand inherently without actually being in present places to know exactly why certain things are? It's like it's intuition that doesn't make any sense. Why have I had deja vu in my life? Why have I had dreams that have told me about things that are to come and then I've seen them come to pass? Why? You can't tell me that. You don't have those answers. So I got to look in places that you're not teaching to find the answers to those questions. You're not going to tell me that in my book when I'm reading through your curriculum. Just like you're not going to tell me how to handle my taxes. Just like you're not going to tell me how to handle what economics logic looks like. So that I make some sense when I'm running around the world talking to people. No. None of those things actually come my way in a way that I can tangibly understand unless I have enough money to go get that higher learning. Where does it end? You deprave people of information, and then you want to exploit their images when they have their natural talent that they can use. And then you look down on them for looking up at you and saying, why is all of this the case when we know you control it all? I know why it's the case. But Kyrie Irving's the bad guy. We don't have to pretend like we are ashamed of our truth. These people can't tell us who we are no different than we're able to tell them as it pertains to our history. So when we go seeking truths and we find out the truth and we stand firm in that truth, but the agreements around us don't have that truth with them, so they're still acting like this is real, like what is the conversation isn't relevant. Yeah, there's going to be people like Kyrie Irving who are going to buck that. And they're not going to be able to say sorry because they would be liars if they did. He's not sorry for saying he's a person of Judah. He believes himself to be. Are there no black Jews? Are there no black Jews? Stop this. Define anti-Semitism properly. That's what we need to do as a country. That's what we need to do as a world. We need to define these hatred. Define hatred properly. Take the time to define the word. And if you can't do that, then look at a man who sees you as suspicious because of it. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching.